All right, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. Welcome to the New York session. Today is Tuesday, the 8th of April. Um, okay, let's start with the dollar index as usual. So, yesterday I did mention we want to see how price is gonna react inside this volume imbalance, and during our session, I think price was somewhere here, and then we went inside it, came down. Then this morning, if you look at the time, that is next day, right? We ran above the high and then we rejected, leaving the nice fair value gap. Now, usually I would like this sort of gap to be created during the London or New York session. This kind of move, I like it to be created during the London or New York session. So I'm not really convinced that this is the high. I'm not really convinced. However, it can go down from here to this fair value gap. But like I said, I'm not convinced because of the time of the day this was created. Had it happened during the London session, then I'll be fully convinced we're gonna come somewhere down here. So as it stands, my bias is still to the downside. We can trade here, but it depends on what price is going to do right here. This down candle with this last move up with the fair value gap, depends what we're going to do there. It can bounce from here, go up, make a new high, then drop. That would be the ideal one for me. But for now, let's go with this fair value gap, sending price back below this low, and then trading down here. All right, so I'm expecting them to trade down here with a question mark because of the time of the day this was created. All right, that means euro will be the same, right? Euro is also giving the same vibe, and what I am using is the fact that euro did not make a new low. Okay, you can see it's created equal low. So based on that, there's a high probability euro will come down to attack that equal low. And if it does, that's when there's probability of dollar index going to make that new high before coming back down. All right, and then the buy pattern is there, but again, the time of the day the buy happened, it's not good. So based on what I'm seeing on euro and then even British pound, it did not make a new low in the right time, which is 9 p.m. Such time of the day is not good for this as a potential reversal pattern. So I'll leave that and then wait for a proper run during the kill zone. So kill zone means during the London, during the New York session, one of those, that's the proper run. Okay, when we get that, there's a high probability of the reversal being sustained than this time of the day, even though it can go up. So it's kind of 50-50, and I don't like doing 50-50. I don't like doing 50-50. So let's see. Australian dollar. I think yesterday this is the one that I said to focus on for a potential reversal because of where price was trading at, similar to New Zealand, right? They did come down one more time, but if you're around, if you are here, this run should ring a bell, should bring something into your mind, right? It was a run to attack the low, and this is the kind of run I'm talking about. Notice the time of the day that price is running that low. Okay, that's during the London close session. So Monday trading down to attack the low during a kill zone, and then price reject. We've traded it through the New York. We've traded through the New York session fair value gap. So that's a high probability of a reversal sign, similar to the Australian dollar. We've traded through a New York session fair value gap, and you can see how that same gap is acting as a support to send price back up. Same thing here, is acting as support to send price back up. So I like, in terms of trade ideas for today, I like the New Zealand and the Aussie. They will likely, let me hide this, right? Go up here, right? That's previous day's high, and that's previous day's high. It's likely gonna go up there. So during this New York session, you can look for a trade idea to go there. I think we're a bit too late, but had we come a little bit earlier, I have too many lines on here. Let me get rid of some of them. I'm not sure why it's showing the high over there, but on the lower time frame, this is the high. Weird stuff going on. Anyway, that will be the drawn liquidity. So from this gap to that level up there, okay, and then the same thing applies to this one. From this gap to up there, and I said that when we get that, watch this pair and then this pair for a potential trade idea. I think the trade idea is gone, but it's gonna attack this low and then that low, and I'll explain how. So we had this being Monday, running Friday's high, and then we got the break over here, and this was a pullback, so it's gonna attack this low. So maybe during this New York session, this high to this low to attack this, and then that. So this is what it looks like, this high to this low. Okay, you're looking to sell. To attack this low. Okay, if we come back up a little bit, even if we come into 50%, because all we need is price to dip into this gap. Okay, don't chase it here, let it come up a little bit more, then look for the move to the downside. All right, same thing applies to Aussie, Euro Aussie, somewhere up here. Then you look for a run to attack this low. Okay. New Zealand is also not bad. Euro New Zealand and Pound New Zealand. I think this was the one that I was interested in, but I missed it when it pulled back. So again, look for let me see on the lower time frame. It probably might come here or close in this gap from this gap to here. But I would say consider the Euro Aussie and Pound Aussie, because they are yet to move a little bit lower. Then New Zealand has moved, so just consider the Euro Aussie and Pound Aussie. Those two are much better. You are likely to break this low. That's the drawn liquidity. The Aussie card and the New Zealand card, wait for the break above the up candle. So wait for the break above the up candle. Then you start looking for your longs. I like the fact that they've closed through the gap now, and we've wiped out everybody, taking out a low. Same thing here, we've wiped out everybody, and then we've traded through the gap. So watch the up candle. Once we can break above it, there's a lot of room to the upside. So patience on the Aussie card and the New Zealand card. All right. Let's look at this pair here. There's a high probability that this might come back down again. I normally don't talk about dollar card because it's a weird pair. I don't like it, but it has the potential to come down here to attack these lows. But it will conflict. The reason why I don't like trading it is it does conflict with sometimes some trades that I have on the dollar and sometimes on the card. So that's why I don't like trading it. However, it has the potential to come here. Now, if you can see that it conflicts with the New Zealand card and the Aussie card, how the high time frame is still suggesting lower prices. So you can consider this low to this high. We are coming down here. Okay, the New Zealand card and the Aussie card, it's not ready to go up yet. Okay, they need to break that up candle. So this is still valid because they can still go down. The New Zealand card and the Aussie card can still go down. So you can take the trade to come down here. Right, so even probably where we are, your stop can go above this high, and then partial down here, and then look for a run for this low. Dollar yen, something similar. I'm expecting lower prices based on the weekly. Okay, we are likely to trade and close this gap in, and as long as this is open, we'll be looking for lower prices. So I just don't like where it's reversing from. I would have preferred a little bit higher. Yeah, I'll wait for it to come up a little bit more because it didn't get to 618. So wait for it to come up a little bit more, then look for the run to the downside. Gold. So gold, yesterday we couldn't get a close above the fair value gap, and it did come and sweep this low, but the bullishness is still on. Okay, based on the weekly, this is still bullish. We've just traded into the gap. It came, now let me go back to the lower time frame. This happened overnight, which is when the Sunday market opened, right? This is why it's similar to the dollar index running the high during the Asian session. Okay, I don't really consider that. So this move here, this is the real move. This one is fake. Okay, so they've now come into the gap. Okay, they've now come into the gap. Now we can then expect the reversal to happen. So on the daily, we've now traded into this gap. Right now, the best thing is they did not leave any fair value gap on the upside. Okay, they did not leave any fair value gap on the upside, which makes it even much better, because as long as there is no gap on the upside, it means price is likely going to go up again. And you can see an example of that over here. Okay, when all this was happening, I said that because they did not leave any gap, it was going to go up. Same thing with the euro. They did not leave any gap here, so it's going to go up. The same thing with gold. They have not left any gap here, so it's going to go up again. Right, so this is the range. Okay, and they've hit 618. Now why this low? Because on the weekly, that's where the down candle is. Okay, so that would be the range. They've hit 618. I personally think maybe they'll come back one more time, then a quick rally. Let the buy pattern show itself, then we can look for the buy. It can go up from where we are because that's 618. That's the fair value gap. So it can go up from where we are, but a move back down again with a quick rejection will be the best entry. Yeah, a move back down again with a quick rejection will be the best entry for price to go back up. So look for something like this, then we buy to continue going up. Or if they can break above this, still I don't like it. This is not a good movement for a buy. They will come back down. I think they will come back down and then go back up again. Now, can you sell? I think yes. Based on what I'm seeing, a sell will be much better. So selling to come back down again, that'll be a much better trade idea for today, right? To come and attack this low. Then we look for a buy to go back up again, right? So gold, lower price. Crude oil. I think yesterday we spoke about this volume imbalance on the H4. That if they can break above it, then we can go higher. As long as we're below, price might come back down again. We are still below it, so look for one more move to the downside, then we can anticipate a rejection. I don't really like the price action here. Yeah, it's gonna be a problem for price to go up because of this gap. So look for a continuation to the downside. Now, in terms of trade idea, this week is throwing me off because of how big it is. Okay, so this is what you're gonna do. That would have been a great entry right here, using this to that, but we have all of that price action, right? And it can come and sweep the high again before going down. Monday's high is all the way up there, so even if you use this, it's not safe. So what would be safe is to wait for a new range to be created, and then you use that to trade it. So we break, we pull back, then you use that high to this low, and then you trade that rather. Okay, so use that new range. Okay, use that new range for your trade idea rather than using this, because it's not safe. These are too clean, they can come for it, but if they can create a new one during this New York session, then that can be safe for a scalp to come and attack this low, and then you leave it alone. Okay, because the way the high time frame is shaped, it's not looking great in terms of using it for trade idea. So unless you get something like this, don't trade it because it's not safe. Okay, then ES. So ES also managed to trade through that volume imbalance. So you can see after trading through it, then it acts as resistance, rejected going up. I missed out on a trade on the 15 minutes here. This gap during the New York session. I think I took a trade yesterday. Let me see. I can't remember. Yeah, I took a trade on yeah, ES 1 minute. I was teaching someone something. Let me see where I took that trade. Okay, yeah, here. So I was looking for them to come and attack this low. I took the trade here, looking for them to come attack this low with a stop loss above that. That was just so the student wanted to understand how margin works, how um, how the futures market works. So I was trying to give him an idea of the margin requirement for the ES, and also how the percentage in terms of risk works, because he doesn't have any idea about it. So I took a random trade. It wasn't planned. It was just a random trade, just to show him how the futures market work, because he wants to dive into futures market. And yeah, that's why I took this loss. It wasn't a proper trade idea. It was a, a lesson that was given him. But after I finished on the 15 minutes, I saw this that I was going to take a long, but I got preoccupied. This down candle happening in New York session on the lower time frame. It had the buy pattern, run down, and then break, pull back, fair value gap, and then went up. So I missed out on that. So I took a loss on a random, unnecessary, something unnecessary, but it's okay. I'll make it back maybe today, because I think it's gonna go up here. It's gonna go and attack this high, because we've traded through the volume imbalance. So we are going to go and trade inside this fair value gap. So a run above previous day's high on Monday. We are still bearish, by the way. We are not bullish, but the Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday high of the week is what I think is happening, like we had last week. That was Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then we flashed down. That's the same thing you'll be looking for this week. So Monday, Tuesday, going for previous day's high. Then either tomorrow we will reject and then start coming back down again. So on the H4, this is the gap we are looking for price to trade to. If we get a rejection from there, we will be coming here, and then attacking these clean equal lows down there. But for today, the trade idea, which I have a session with my private student, that will be where we'll be looking for price to go. So I'll be looking for a buy during this time. So always pay attention to the 2 to 5 in that purple area. If you want to trade ES, pay attention only to that time, and then look for something like this, a fair value gap, a run below a low, break fair value gap on the 5 or 15 minutes, and then you're good to go. Okay, so during the purple time, I'll look for, if they go up first, then definitely that will be it. I'll not have any trade idea. But if they go down and then they start rejecting, then I'll look for, and I would prefer that. Okay, I'll prefer that they go down first and then reject and go up. Okay, let's continue. Let's move on to the crypto market. Okay, chat key. Let's go to the daily. Okay, so I think I still have a drawn liquidity for this low, right? I still think that's where price is gonna come to based on the weekly time frame, right? We have this big up candle, So I don't think that we'll be going up soon. Even if we close above this candle's high, then it will just be a consolidation because we have a high probability up candle here with immediate close. So price is going to struggle to go up. Hence, this will be a range. Price is going to trade within, right? So this does not guarantee price is going to go up. No. Even if it does, it might take out the previous week high and then come back down again. So don't be convinced yet. Now, I'm not convinced yet. For me to be really convinced, then I think we need to break similar to how this candle week. We need a big candle to challenge the up candle. So we need a big one, not just a big one to close somewhere up here. Then it will be a battle between the buyers and the sellers. What I mean is something big, not as big as this, but something big. Then it will be a challenge between the buyers and sellers. Right now, as it stands, it will go for the previous week high. This one. Or let me say it this way. It's likely going to go for that high. Right? It's likely going to go for that high. But after that high is taken, then it might come back down again. If we can close aggressively above it on a daily basis, leaving a fair value gap down here, then we might have a challenge. Okay, but until then, I still think this draw on liquidity is here. So buying for a day trade to go up to the previous week high is probable. Okay, buying with a day trade idea mentality to go up, not buying to go up to the moon or buying to hold. No, I don't think that would be the best case right now. Tatsuo. Okay, so this also has a probability of going this candle's low. It's still bearish, by the way. On the daily, this gap is gonna stay open for a continuation to the downside. If we can trade through it, then we can start talking of a potential, not reversal, even a pullback to somewhere up here. As long as this gap is open, still lower prices. So can you sell? If you want to, where we are now, I don't think selling it is the best option. Now, I'll bring your mind to Bitcoin, because yesterday I was saying something about this up candle here. This up candle. That if we break it, there's a likelihood that we'll go up. The way they broke it here, to me, it's not nice. It's not aggressive enough. And the whole move is just too shallow. There's no elephant in the room in here. So what I'm thinking is that is what I'm thinking. Okay. So expect a quick rundown, something similar to this. You need it to be clean to attack this low, then a quick rejection, and then it start going up. When you see that happening, then you can look onto Tatuo, Jatski, XRP, Hype, Ethereum, Solana, AI16Z. That is when you start getting interested in them for the buys. Okay, for the buys. And I'll leave Ethereum out because of what I saw on the big time frame. If the sudden move down on BTC can cause Ethereum to run to that level that I mentioned yesterday, which is a little bit far away, but this one is possible. That weekly, this monthly gap here. Ultimately, like I said, it does look a little bit suspicious to me. This equal low, it looks suspicious to me, right? So I wouldn't be surprised a quick sudden move down and a quick rejection. All right. So if you're like me, I'll place a buy limit down here and forget about it. Okay. Just place a buy limit there and then forget about it. Just in case. Because it can be a flash. What I mean a flash is a quick sudden move that will catch everybody by surprise. That is a flash. Because it's based on the 6 months. That's what it needs to come to. 6 months? Or 3 months? No, 6 months. Yeah. What time frame was it? What's the time frame? Yeah, based on the 6 months. Because we had a run above this high and then we broke down closing below this. So that becomes a dealing range. And that dealing range, price needs to finish the move at the origin of the pullback, right? And the origin of the pullback is here. Those of you that understand will understand. Because this is a turning point. Not a turning point to go down because we have a turning point over here as well. So it's this low versus this high. So you have this low versus that high, right? Now, since we have confirmed this swing high, price needs to take out this low, this particular low here. It needs to take it out. So with all that move to the upside and price currently here, there's a high probability that it's going to take out this low because that's where it needs to go to. And then go back up again because it's bullish on the 6 months time frame. We are trading above this swing high. So it's bullish. But it needs to come here first and then, because now this will be engineered as equal high. And then it will go back up again. So Ethereum, yes, it will go back up again, but it will need to take out this low, right? So watch Bitcoin. It can fare straight to the 1367.300 level here, that gap, because that's the next drawn liquidity, right? So look for a move down again to that one, and then maybe a pullback when Bitcoin decides to start going up. It might pull back and then we'll face this up candle as a challenge, and then maybe a quick flash, because I want to see this low taken first. For me to be bullish, this low needs to be taken first. If we start going up from here, I'm not convinced. If we start going up from here, I'm not convinced you're going up. It might be a trap, and then it will come back down here again. So yeah, and then I've just explained Bitcoin. Look for that move down, quick down, rejection. Solana, same thing. Look for a quick sudden move down, the rejection. Same thing with AI16, quick move down with a rejection. Everything is now waiting for my country people say bossu. We are waiting for bossu. We are waiting for the boss, right, to give us an indication that it's going up. So yeah, that's about it. Even XRP, a quick move down. I think yesterday did reject the low, right? That's exactly what we want to see. We don't want them to close below this low, but we want them to come back down again and then go up. The best time frame for the closure not to happen is the weekly, so keep that in mind. It can still close below it on the daily, but not on the weekly. Okay, so that's pretty much that. So look for continuation to the downside. That's what I'm trying to say on the cryptos. Don't be drawn in to the pullback that is happening now. As a matter of fact, it would be better for it to drop one more time before going up because of the way it's going up, right? And I'll show you an example of it. This is an example of it. Okay, yesterday, notice how price was going up from here. And that is not a good buy. And then they flash it out with that elephant in the room move to the downside. And what's happening now? Rejecting. Even though the rejection is not the best because it should have run quickly, but it's okay. The move down is important. Maybe during the New York session, we'll have a sudden quick move up to break this. And then on the daily, you have this activated as a green candle. Okay, it'll be activated as a green candle like this, right? So that's why I'm saying we need to come back down again. Bitcoin needs to come back down again. Let me get rid of. Watch the previous day's high. I think it will take that one out first, and then the flash down. So watch that one. Once you take it out, rejection, sell short, attack this low, stop, and then let's see if they will come in and then buy it again. And let me see this one too. Same thing. This one, wait for the previous day's high to be taken. Rejection on the 1 hour time frame, sell short, and then we will see when the buy happens. Yeah, one more run to the downside. Okay, so that'll be all from me for today. Thank you for joining. I will see you same time tomorrow. Hopefully, over the New York session, something will happen on the cryptos, and then something will happen on the currencies to give us more trade ideas. All right, don't forget Euro Aussie and then Pound Aussie. That will be the trade for the day. Those two, right? And then watch out for the Australian dollar or previous day's high. Let me drop down to the M15. I think it's gone. Yeah. That would have been a nice buy. What time is it? 120. Okay. I was busy rambling. Okay, so watch this gap here. Watch that one. Once we break this high, that's the drawn liquidity. If we can pull back to this, that'll be your trade for the day. This can be an entry, but your stop loss will be exposed unless if you take this, you are okay leaving your stop loss below that for a move up there. If you're okay with that, then that's fine. But let them go above this. Let them close on this time frame, 15 minutes. Let them close above this high. And this can be a range. And you can use either this one or that one as your entry, or your stop can be below this candle's low. Okay, so that will be the trade of the day. Going forward, I'll try and see if I can find the trade of the day every time we meet. All right, so that's all for now. Have a wonderful day, and I'll see you tomorrow. Take care.